Good morning. Welcome to Diane's Kitchen. Today we've got an exciting program for you because my guest is beyond exciting. She's a very busy woman. Her name is Michelle Masters and she's from Habitat for Humanity. You are going to find out after today's program that Habitat for Humanities has changed a lot from its original inception in 1976. This goes beyond what you're thinking. So, first of all, before we get started, let me thank my sponsor, Baron Electric. If you are one of the 84,000 members, don't forget when you get your bill, you'll get a newsletter. It's got everything in it you could possibly want to know about the company. Remember, you are part of the company, it's a co op. So, they are promoting their Energy Star refunds. I said refund. You can get money back if you are needing a clothes washer, dryer, dehumidifier, dishwasher, refrigerator, whatever appliance you're looking at, you can get a discount, a refund if it's an Energy Star product. So read your newsletter, Baron Electric. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. So good to
It's,
see you. Thank you for inviting me on.
oh, thank you. We sat down together about a month ago. I was so
Yes.
impressed with Michelle and what she knows and her enthusiasm for her job that I said, "Do you mind if this isn't a written interview but something face to face?" And she graciously accepted. Um, you've been with Habitat for how many years?
I actually just joined Habitat this January.
Wow. Are you a
Yeah.
perfect fit? Where in the world have you been?
I've been in a lot of places. My not-for-profit experience has been with Chamber of Commerce's. I was the
Nice.
director of tourism at in the Verde Valley in Arizona, and I was also with the Verde Valley Humane Society
I don't
as a
know why
president of the board. So
I don't know why anybody would let you go. I would give you raise after raise, and then I would tie you to your desk just to keep you
thank you.
around.
You know what? Wisconsin brought me back.
Oh, how nice.
I miss the water and the trees and the good people here.
Oh, you can say that again. This is
Yeah,
this is an area that's full of good people.
it is.
And Habitat for Humanity started out as a faith-based, it's still a faith-based
It is.
organization to help build houses. Everybody knows the story that the people who are getting the houses put in sweat equity and they help
Yes.
build the house, and then the day they give them the key and it's theirs. Habitat has changed a little bit from its original inception in Georgia. In fact, we were in Americus, Georgia, which is right next to Jimmy Carter's hometown of Plains, Georgia,
Planes. Mhm.
population 400.
Wow.
And no wonder he gets involved with
Yes,
Habitat. It's right in his backyard.
it is.
But
It's
things have changed. Tell us, you run you run your office out of the Restore in Hayward, right?
in Hayward. I am with Habitat for Humanity of Sawyer County.
Yes.
There is another affiliate near you as well, which is called Wild River, and it's a combination of St. Croix Falls and Spooner.
Ah,
And yes, and then the next closest one that's functioning, that has a restore and is building homes,
hmm,
would be Eau Claire.
okay.
If you stay in that part of the world.
So the one in Spooner
Yes,
is part of the.
Wild River
Okay.
Habitat for Humanity. It's run by they're both run by a woman named Jennifer Johnson, who's amazing. She helps me out a lot. She does regional work, um, but we all work together. We're kind of Sawyer County is the last bastion going north. Everything north of us closed.
Oh,
There's
really?
nothing in Ashland. There's nothing in Washburn. There's nothing in Superior. There's not even anything in Duluth.
Why is that?
No, that's another state. COVID was hard. Restores
Oh,
depend on volunteers.
yeah.
You know, this is a business thing, but average ticket determines how much you can spend. It takes just as much work to sell $10 worth of product as it does 100.
Yes.
Depends on pricing and average ticket. Because we sell things so economically, our average ticket's a little lower than most retail places. So we really truly depend on volunteers. And what happened during COVID is that Habitat International said no more volunteers, which was smart because generally our volunteers tend to be the compromised part of the compromised community.
Exactly.
They're retired, and we have to
Exactly.
honor that. So what happened is that when you eliminated those wonderful and come on back volunteers that were retired or had a Saturday morning they wanted to donate or whatever, could no longer join us, some of the restores had to close. They just couldn't sustain.
Well,
They couldn't make enough money to pay staff.
what a shame. Do
Yeah.
you know when the Restore got into the Habitat for Humanity, when they got under the umbrella? Because they weren't right from the get-go in 76, were they? The Restores?
No, they many not-for-profits do this. Lots of, in fact, the Humane Society here does it. They start thrift stores. It's what they do because they need
Oh,
to generate money other than monetary donations.
sure.
Um, and we had one at the animal shelter in Arizona as well. It's common. So I think what they did is they picked up on that business plan
Hmm.
that a lot of others have been doing already. And I know here the Restore started in I believe it was 97.
Your Restore up there has always been popular. I'm so glad it hasn't gone out of business. I mean, the day I was there, I was impressed. You've got a whole side yard full of sinks.
We do. And remember the 13 lovely toilets that we had out
Yes.
there? They could be outside.
Yes.
All They all sold. We had
See?
a toilet sale. Problem solved. Here, come get a $10 toilet. There you go.
$10?
$10 toilet.
That's just amazing. Now,
And the people needed them, or they thought they needed a backup, whatever. But that's what we do to try to take care of
exactly.
the community and to keep the Restore chugging. We needed to get that stuff inside before winter.
And you are very, very community minded up there in Hayward. I
Oh,
mean, you come right alongside people who need it. So, from what I talked to you about before, homes themselves are on the decline. It's no longer we're going to build you a house. Why?
well, I'll be. That is our goal, but it's a goal that
Right,
we can't achieve right now.
right.
And the reason being is for many, many factors. COVID. I don't want to keep bringing it up, but the
But,
event of us having to all be sequestered in our homes and trying to honor each other and stay healthy and keep others around us healthy. Um, People were working from home, and guess what happened? They liked it,
yeah,
and not only did
yes,
they like it, but their employers liked it.
yes.
They were actually saving money.
Hmm.
No more brick and mortar. So when they realized that they were going to be able to work from home from now on, they decided, why not work in God's country and come live up north? So our summer home became their permanent home.
Yes.
A little bit of an exodus from the city.
Hmm.
And when that happened, it drove the cost of housing up.
Yeah.
The average house here in Sawyer County is a lot closer to $300,000 than we'd like it.
Wow.
So, and when we build a home for somebody, they have to be able to afford the mortgage. We never would set anybody up for failure. I mean, it's a long and
Yes.
tedious process of many questions and many forms and good decisions being made because we want them to be in this home for as long as they need to be. And
Right.
we want them to be able to afford it.
Hmm.
And in order to do that at true low income, we'd have to buy a home at about 100 done and ready to rock and roll at about 130 to $140,000 with the current interest rates.
Right.
And if those go up, that changes as well.
Sure.
So we, by the way, lend the money at no interest if we do select a family, but we just can't find a home. And people aren't donating their homes for whatever reason anymore. Every now and again we'd get someone to either in their will rest their soul,
Aw.
or they decided they're moving somewhere else. They're going to go live in Florida, and why not give my lovely humble home to Habitat for Humanity to share with a needy family?
Wow.
And those kind of things aren't happening as often as they used to. Our
Right.
economy has really changed. A lot has changed.
Yeah.
So if we can't put a family comfortably into a home with a mortgage,
Hmm.
we've shifted our focus because it's what the community needs to helping people repair their homes. And we're doing a program called Brush with Kindness, which we lend that money to people who need a roof, who need a furnace, um, who need just simple things. So the last three we did were electricity. Getting the electrical company, hi Baron, Baron Electric, getting them to come and run, um, the electricity to their home, and then getting an electrician to run it from the box to the house.
Why wouldn't they have electricity?
Because when a lot of people lost their homes, they ended up living. They had land, and they
Yeah.
ended up putting small houses
Yeah.
and or campers
Ah,
on their property. And those empty lots didn't have any need for electricity prior to
sure.
this.
Sure.
The last three people we've done that for were homesteading.
Oh my.
Exactly what they were doing. They had property, and they had built themselves small homes,
Hmm.
and now needed winter's coming. They need to heat those homes. So that's where the last three Brush with Kindnesses went. And then the one prior to that was a roof. Somebody wasn't going to make it through the winter. They had a hole in their roof. And that we can only do limited amounts of that because, again, it's a money factor.
Yeah. Isn't
If we,
everything?
yep. If we get great donations, and let's say we get a really great donation here, it's end of the year,
Hmm.
and it's tax time. People are thinking about, where am
Right.
I going to donate? Um, donate and write in the bottom, Brush with Kindness. And if that is done, that money will go to a Brush with Kindness. In other words, it will go to help a family stay in their home, an elderly person stay in their home, anybody in need, quite frankly, regardless as to their age or situation. If they need the help, and again, there's a process. We just don't. It's not
Right.
nilly-willy. And they qualify, we will help them. If the money's there, we will help them.
That
And then they make very small payments, monthly payments back to
exactly.
us.
And that's just amazing because there are
Yeah,
so many
they pay us
people
back.
that need this.
They
You
do.
know, maybe who
Well,
knows what it is, but they're not going to be
right,
comfortable in their home. They're not going to be warm. They're not going to be dry. They're not going to be any of the above without somebody coming beside them and helping them out.
right. And conventional loans are difficult to get now.
Yeah. Oh my, yes.
Yeah. And so there are people out there that have maybe made some mistakes along the way financially. Maybe it's just bad decisions. Maybe it's COVID,
Yeah.
loss of a job, whatever. Um, that's not it. The reason doesn't matter. But
Hmm.
we'll look at their credit differently. We still look at their credit report. We still look at the past couple of years of their lives. We'll call. One of these last ones I did, I actually called the person that she bought the land from. And he said she has not missed a payment in 3 years.
Wow, that's good.
So guess what? She
Yeah.
doesn't get credit on her credit report for that.
Right.
But I know that she's serious. That
Right.
she
Right.
needs to do this. Same with the woman with the roof. I called, who I needed to call to make sure because she owned the house on a land contract. Land contract doesn't go through a credit report. There are extenuating circumstances where really responsible, employed people need help, and their credit report just doesn't come back good enough for, or they don't have a down payment for a home.
Oh,
They're cash poor. So that's where we can help them. And we can help them work on their credit if they want us to.
that has got to be a godsend for so many people.
We hope so. We're trying to fill in the cracks. There's too many cracks right now.
And, COVID created so many more cracks, deeper cracks, because suddenly everything is unattainable unless you've got an awful lot of money. Because, like you said, with people moving to the country from the cities,
Right.
housing prices are skyrocketing,
Right.
land is skyrocketing. And I
Right.
would imagine Habitat, you can't afford either to buy an old house and fix it up or to buy
Well,
land to put another house on.
well, that's absolutely true, and I'll give you a perfect example of that. The realtors we work with know our price range,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking if I can buy something in the 100,000 range, dump 30 into it, or put 30 into it, excuse me. Voila. Well, you can't believe what's on the market for $100,000. I'm talking like
Yeah.
you'd have to put 100 grand into it. Asbestos siding, single pane windows,
Oh,
um,
oh,
just, you know,
yeah,
ill repair. And it
yeah.
happens. And there's no judgment in that. But I can't, that's not a house I can use for Habitat for Humanity. That's a house somebody can flip.
Hmm.
And that keeps and when they do that, that also keeps the prices up. So we're here. This is where we are. We have to make do with what we have.
And do the best with what you've
Do the
got.
best we've got and just keep moving forward until we can get to a place where, someone is generous enough to donate a home to us or the prices come down. And one more thing that to consider that you mentioned about COVID too, the supply side demand. Lumber tripled in because we couldn't get it.
Yeah.
It was like the gold standard. So
Yes.
did roofing. So did everything we're doing. Roofs that used to cost $10,000 2 years ago are costing 15 because of supplies. The cost of goods has gone up. It's all a cycle.
And we don't know where that cycle is going to go yet.
No, we don't.
I mean, are people finished moving from the cities? I don't think so. And when we get the broadband, uh, there's no restriction for people to leave the city and come here because, like you said, they can work from home.
They can, and we want to be very careful to not become those who have and those who serve them. We want to be able to have a healthy middle class.
Yes.
We want people to have affordable housing, and it's going to take a lot of character and kindness and compassion for the people that have to give back
Hmm.
and maybe build some affordable housing apartment complexes instead of charging $1,300 to live in Sawyer County,
Yeah.
which is insane. Maybe have housing for 800.
Yeah.
Build it nice and build it solid and build it safe and just not fancy. Just
I
nice
think
2-bedroom house for a young family
I think that
or
you
apartment.
are echoing every town and city in at least northern Wisconsin. We need housing. We need good, solid, affordable housing.
Right.
But
$250,000 houses are not the answer to affordable housing.
no, no, no.
And that's what we're being offered right now.
I
And
know.
so, and I know I've shared this with you, my plight. I was going to come up here and stay with a friend for a couple of weeks or a
Hmm.
month or maybe the winter last year.
Sure.
And then this job popped up and I thought, why not? I'll give it a shot because I was retired. And it worked out. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to find somewhere to live.
Yeah.
Great. Very grateful to my friend who said, I'll rent you the room.
Nice.
So that is what there was for me.
Hmm.
So you're not going to be able to draw
No.
people that we need to help our communities flourish and move forward if we don't have somewhere for them to live. They will go
Right.
elsewhere.
Exactly. And what you want your town to do is grow and prosper. But if
Absolutely.
there's no place for people to live, if
Right.
there's no place people can afford to live, they're not going to
Right.
move into your town.
Right. I agree. Economic development is the big figurehead to all the not-for-profits. We're all in the same boat. That you can't have economic development without housing.
Yeah.
Can't have housing without economic development.
Right.
It's
It
I don't
is.
have the answers. I just know what I see. I know
Yes.
what I absorb and what I hear.
Yeah.
And maybe the future of Habitat, and this is just me talking now. This is not anything from international or anybody else. But maybe our future is building affordable duplexes, quadplexes, apartment buildings instead of building single family homes,
And I think the
and
trick
maybe co-op them out like a condo. So you
exactly.
own them.
And I think that the genius behind this thinking is why stick to something if it's no longer working? Why not
Right.
look to see what the need is? I think it was Bill Marriott from the Marriott Corporation who said, find a need and fill it. That's how to be successful. And I think that Habitat, especially the Sawyer County, yours, is doing exactly that. I mean, your store alone, I just love your store. It is so full of everything you could possibly want. So well laid out. Your store manager is just
She's
like
amazing.
you. She
Uh,
is.
her name's Lisa Parker, and she has hired and trained and assembled an incredible group of people who, I'm just going to say this, are willing to work so very, very hard for not enough money because that's what we can afford.
Yeah.
Um, I'd love to pay them the 15 or $20 an hour that I think hardworking people deserve an hour.
Yeah.
But we're not for profit, and they know that, and they knew it coming in, and they do it anyway,
I
and they
know.
show up because they care, and she shows up because she cares, and we get these amazing donations, and then they stand on the dock and look at them, and they find a spot for them on the floor, and they've created this. I mean, people come in here and they're like, "What the heck?" They just can't believe, it's the plumbing's here. We, the electrical's here,
Hmm.
furniture's here. We have doors, we have appliances. We have so many things that people don't realize that we have, and everyone's
Exactly.
different. We have a lot of building supplies here. A lot
Yes.
more so than a lot of habitats do. You
Yes.
come here and get lumber. You can come here and get. We have a whole section for nails and bolts. And Linda is our nail and bolt maven. That is her section. She takes a great pride in it. She checks it every time she works, makes sure it's neat and organized.
And
And
marked.
yeah,
Yes. You
and
can
Mark,
you can tell
hard.
people there really, really have a heart for people. Because, I mean, they could go to McDonald's and make considerably more money,
They could.
but they come every day. They always show up. It's not like they get the job and you never see them again, like so many people are complaining about. These people come, they work for not peanuts, but they're not going to be buying the
Right.
yacht anytime soon.
No, no.
And they're dedicated, and the store really reflects it. You are located on one of the first major left turns before you get to Hayward, right?
Yeah. Coming in, if you're coming in up 53, and then
Right,
you take 63 into Hayward,
right.
we are one of the. You're right. It's called Greenwood Lane.
Mm-hmm.
We're right on the corner. It's across from a small division of the Marshfield Clinic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also on the same street as the high school. So anyone that doesn't know Hayward and wants to be able to find us, we are on Google. Our Google is correct, but
Yes.
some of the other platforms, like Bing, we cannot figure out how to get our address changed from our old location. So if you find yourself lost, either put in the Marshfield Clinic or the high school,
Oh,
and you
sure.
cannot miss us. We are literally on the corner,
You are. Yeah.
right off of 63. If you're coming from Hayward, we're a right-hand turn. If you're coming from 53, that
Spooner.
corridor there,
Right.
Spooner, we're on the left.
It's a great place to go. It's a fun drive up there so far, but of course we haven't gotten any snow yet. But if even if you're not looking for anything, you are going to be amazed. I mean, you're just going to be amazed. Like Michelle said, they've got soup to nuts, books, big pieces of furniture, tiny little screws and bolts. It's just a fun place to go, and all of a sudden you find all sorts of stuff you didn't think you needed. Now, you had called the coming up season January and February. I love the name that you've got for them, the long yawn. That should be national. The long yawn. Anybody who lives or works or has a business up here in northern Wisconsin realizes that January and February are beyond dead. Tourists have gone home. Local people are saving their money to pay their taxes. Uh, it's a
Yeah.
time when it is a long yawn and businesses really hurt. Your hours are going to change. When are they
They
going to change?
they'll probably we haven't determined that yet. So I'm going
Okay.
to ask you to check our website for those changes,
Okay.
and or our Facebook page. Um, and our Facebook page has changed. We used to have some Facebook pages that they lost before us, before
Oh,
this group came. We don't have the passwords, so we can't get on them, and we can't eliminate them. So be very cautious when finding our Facebook page. It's called Restore of Habitat for Humanity of Sawyer County.
ay,
It,
ay, ay.
yeah, yeah, is right. It's a lot, but Restore of Habitat was taken. Habitat for Humanity of Sawyer County was taken, so we just took it and stretched it out. Um, our hours will be announced on there. We always post them. We'll probably take an ad out in the yellow
Right.
publication that you have.
Advertiser. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. to let people know. Probably going to be 10 to 4.
Okay.
Currently, we're 9 to 5, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 3, Friday and Saturday. Probably going to be 9 to 4 most days. I
Okay.
don't know about Saturday yet, um, and Friday, and I think it'll change either right around Christmas or in the new year.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if people want to make sure you're open or when you're open, they can always call you 715-634-7787, right?
If you call that number, they'll actually get Habitat. That is the line for Habitat for people who might need a brush with kindness and or
Okay.
to talk to me about a USDA elder keeping the elderly in place grant, which is another thing that we offer. But they are 715-634-1340. That's
1340.
1340.
Okay.
And the hours are always, bear with the message because they're always on the message. It will always tell you on that voicemail if one of us doesn't answer. It will tell you when we're open.
Good. Good.
And please, before you drive some distance,
Yeah. Call.
from Shell Lake or somewhere, winter is a good distance. We get people from Rice Lake coming up. Give
Wow.
us yeah. We get Ashland a lot. A lot
Ashland.
of folks come from, there's nothing up there.
Oh,
And they
right.
need, their daughter's going to college and she needs a new dresser and a new favorite chair and, whatever.
Yeah.
Books to hang some stuff on in her new
Yeah.
apartment. And that's where they come. They come on down.
Uh, like I say, it's an amazing place, and I don't think if you've never been there or if you've never needed the services, you have no idea what a valuable community resource this is. You just mentioned something about the elderly. What is that?
Oh, okay. And I'm just a conduit for this. This is
Okay.
not necessarily a Habitat for Humanity function. There's only like 4 or 5 of us in the state that do offer this service. It's called the USDA grant, and it's targeted towards people over the age of 62 who own their home, and there's an income limit, and it's graduated. So you need to have less than $36,000 a year in income, which most many retired folk do.
Yeah.
And then it's graduated. If you have 36, you get less than the $7,500 grant that they offer. But if you are just on Social Security, there's a very good chance that there's a grant out there for $7,500 to help you repair your home so that you can stay in your home. And they offer a loan of up to $20,000 at a 1% interest.
Oh my.
It's amazing. It's not easy. I'm not going to
Right.
kid you. And this is why we help, because many of the folk that need this service do not have an ally.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, if you can't make the drive into Habitat to be a volunteer on our floor, or if you aren't able to write us a check or whatever you feel you'd like to do to give, if you have someone in your community who fits the bill of what I just described,
Mm-hmm.
be their ally, call me, bring them here, help them there's probably 30 different pieces of information that they need to supply to me
Right.
or to the USDA in order for them to get this, qualify for this grant. Help them organize that. Many people that fall into this category don't have computers. If
Exactly.
they do, they don't know how to use them.
Exactly.
If they do, they don't have a printer or a scanner.
Ooh, right.
And, how are they going to send me things? They
They're
can't
not.
scan them to me.
Right.
They can't download them to their computer as an attachment and send it to me, because
True.
that just, and the last thing we want to do is overwhelm.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can be an advocate for somebody in your community,
Nice.
but that is a tremendous way to give back.
Nice.
Take them to the bank to get what they need.
Right.
Help them go through some people don't know where their deed is, the title to their property. It's okay. Go to the courthouse and pay your $3. But the thought of doing that
Yes.
is staggering to some people.
Yes.
This is how you can really help. If there's somebody in your community that you know needs help, find them an advocate. And we'll take it from there. We'll get it to the USDA, in good shape, and then the USDA takes it from there.
You are, once again, I sound like a broken record, but you are an amazing woman. You
Thank
have
you.
got just the biggest capacity for other people, whether they're young people, whether they're old people, people in need. And that's why I wanted people to meet you. And you
Thank
can
you.
meet Michelle in person. She's in and out and buzzing around the Sawyer Restore all the time.
I am.
And call, give them a call, and
Please.
go online, go on Facebook, find them, get in touch with them. You've got extra money. It's coming the end of the year. You want a tax write off? Write a check because it's not going to be misused. So many times you write this
No.
check to whatever. You have no idea where it goes or how
Right.
much the executive directors get and the CEOs get out of it. Everything that you give, you send, you donate, even your time is of such value and is treated so well. Michelle, it's didn't I tell you half hour is just going to go flying by?
You did, and you were right. I was nervous for no reason at all.
See?
You have
See?
been wonderful.
Yeah.
We're compassionate here because we believe that's why God put us on this earth,
Yes.
and just to walk each other home. And I want to
Amen.
say this too. We could use some really amazing board members. We're always looking for good board members. It's one meeting a month. Um, Come to some fundraisers, come up with some great ideas. It's mostly your energy and your intuition and your drive that we need, and attachment to other communities. We welcome people outside of Sawyer County.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes, I actually am deeply in pursuit of somebody in Shell Lake
Aha.
who's. Here's the thing: people that when I see them, I go, God, I want them on my board. I
Ooh.
want them on my board because they're amazing and they're busy.
And they care.
I recognize that energy. Well, that energy is already bouncing around in 1,000 places
Right.
before I met them, and
Right.
they don't have a lot left for me right now. And it might happen one day. One guy took him 6 months, and he cleared his plate so that he could be on our board. So, you know, there's many ways you can help. Many ways.
So there's your call. There is your call. If you can do something, if you can give something, if you've got something to donate, if you've got the name of people, if
Yes.
you can be the advocate for somebody, Habitat for Humanity in Hayward is at the ready and they know what they're doing and you can trust them explicitly. Michelle Masters, I thank you again and again and again for being on. Hopefully, we will talk again and we
I
also
would love that.
good. Before we
Great.
leave, huh?
Mhm. I was going to say thank you for giving me this platform, and you've been very kind and wonderful, and I feel very blessed to have met you.
Well, I feel exactly the same way. First time we met, we had to hug. We
We
had to
did.
hug it out. We're kindred spirits. So, once again, thanks to Baron Electric for being our sponsor. Great company.
Mhm.
And thanks to Michelle. And thanks to all of you. And remember, as I tell you every time, have a good week and keep it cooking.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.